Local sailors who have a home base on the bay have deployed from Norfolk on the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. The second carrier strike group in the U.S. is called to the eastern Mediterranean as Israel prepares to expand operations into Gaza.
The U.S. would primarily be in that support role of keeping track of what's happening around the perimeter of Israel, maybe coming in with logistics or medical support to augment what the Israeli Defense Force can do.
Brian Clark is a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, a think tank in Washington, D.C. that is focused on national security. He's also a Navy veteran who has been on the carrier. What is the Eisenhower capable of?
The Eisenhower is a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. It carries an air wing of about 70 aircraft that are both tactical fighter aircraft and intelligence and surveillance aircraft. It's able to deploy indefinitely because of its nuclear-powered propulsion plant. It brings about 2,000 sailors that are stationed on the ship, as well as another couple thousand sailors that are associated with the air wing, and it's able to conduct basically the full range of naval operations over up to 1,000 miles away from the carrier.
Clark says the Eisenhower was getting ready to deploy, but the mission now shifts focus into a more tense situation.
The original deployment was probably going to mostly focus on exercises with NATO allies, maybe certainly some port calls along the European coast, maybe a short deployment to the Middle East. The change is going to be they're probably not going to get those port calls. They probably will not do nearly as many exercises or any at all.
It will be life at sea for several months, but he says the carrier is like a floating city. It's about 1,100 feet long, and there's always something to do.
For the Eisenhower, it completed some maintenance over the last couple of years, so this is its first deployment in 3 years about. So you've got a lot of new people who have never deployed on a carrier before who now are on their first deployment. The kinds of things they'll do is conduct combat air patrols. They'll maintain the air surveillance picture over Israel to help the Israeli Defense Force monitor its airspace for potential other intrusions.
Leaving the bay behind, our military men and women will help to relieve the Israelis of keeping track of other naval activities happening in the area. For Chesapeake Bay Media's Bay Bulletin, I'm Cheryl Costello.